The first story appears on the BBC News website, and it talks about modern slavery gangmasters and how they exploit the shortage of care workers that we have within the UK. So the story starts by talking about the fact that the number of cases that are reported of modern slavery in the UK care industry has more than doubled in the last year. And it goes on to talk about the story of a candidate called Terry, who was recruited by an agency in her home country in Africa. They offered her work in the UK as a carer, and the agency told her that they would arrange her work visa and her transport. When she came to the UK, she was given work that was really grueling hours. She was working up to 20 hours a day and often worked for 7 days a week. The car that she'd been promised to travel between clients didn't materialise, so she had to walk between her appointments. And she was eventually paid her wages 2 months later. And when she was, the money that she received worked out to be less than £2 an hour, which is illegal within the UK. She complained to the care company, but it threatened to stop her work and cancel her visa. And also she was warned by other carers that the firm's owners had political links in her country, which made him very dangerous. So she didn't want to go against somebody like that. The second story that we have is based in Birmingham, and it talks about a worker for an agency who was bringing in many new workers from Poland, which is where she had originated from. When they actually investigated further, it was found that she had found jobs for 24 slavery victims who were placed in unsuspecting companies, and some were making sheds and fences, for example. The workers that were placed there were only receiving a fraction of their wages for the shifts that they did. The rest of the money was kept by the gangs who had opened up and controlled their bank accounts. And then the final story that we have is in the Irish News, which talks about the evil trade of modern slavery, and the fact that the number of people who suffer from modern slavery has really grown in recent years. There was evidence that came from the PSNI that said 6 victims of human trafficking had been identified following joint investigation with authorities in Romania. The women, who were all in their 20s, were lured on the promise of lawful employment in Northern Ireland and trafficked through Dublin. Police said the terrible reality on arrival was that they were instead forced into prostitution. And there's shocking statistics from the British Home Office, which suggest that almost 550 people were potentially trafficked into Northern Ireland last year.